The Dispassion of Suka and the Instructions of Bhagavati to Hari. Hearing these words of Vyasadeva, Sukadeva said, O father, I do not wish to take up a householder's life at all, for I see clearly that it binds men like a rope binds animals and is a source of incessant pain. O father, how can you expect happiness from a householder who is constantly burdened with anxiety about how and from where to obtain wealth? Those who are greedy for wealth oppress even their poor relatives and extort money. Even one who is the lord of the three worlds, their Indra, is not as happy as a beggar who has no desires. Tell me, then, who else can be happy in this world? Whenever an ascetic is seen practicing severe austerities, Indra, the lord of the Devas, becomes anxious and distressed, creating various obstacles in his path. Moreover, even Brahma is not happy with his vast samsara, the creation that serves as his household. Bhagavan Vishnu, though he has his beautiful consort Kamala, the presiding deity of wealth and prosperity, is always suffering. He is incessantly engaged in fighting with the Asuras, and though he is the husband of Lakshmi and full of prosperity, he frequently practices severe asceticism with great care and earnestness. So, who else possesses constant happiness? I also know that Bhagavan Shankara suffers incessant troubles and has to fight against the Daityas. So then, O father, how can a poor householder be happy when even a wealthy householder cannot sleep peacefully due to his constant concern for wealth? O highly fortunate one, knowing full well the truth of this world, why are you pushing me, your son, into this terrible samsara, filled with pain and agony? O father, what can I say to you about the miseries of the world? There is pain in birth, pain in old age, pain in death, and pain in the life within the womb, surrounded by urine and feces. But the pain arising from desire and greed is more terrible than all these sufferings. Moreover, the pain experienced while begging for wealth and possessions is even greater than the pangs of death. Alas, there is no other way for the Brahmins to earn their livelihood than to accept gifts from others. Therefore, Brahmins have to suffer daily, enduring death-like pangs while waiting in expectation from others. Can there be anything more regrettable than this? The Brahmins, after studying all the Vedas and Dharma Shastras and acquiring wisdom, ultimately have to go to the rich and praise them carefully in expectation of some money. O father, if one does not become a householder, what concern is there in feeding oneself? If there is contentment in the mind, the belly can be filled with leaves, roots, and fruits. But if one has a wife, sons, grandsons, and many dependent relatives, then feeding them all brings much trouble and anxiety. So how can you expect, O father, perfect happiness in this world? Teach me, O father, the Shastras on yoga and eternal truth that will bring true happiness. No advice on karmakanda, the path of rituals and actions, will bring me any joy. Now advise me on how karma can be exhausted and how the root of the three types of karma, sanchita, prarabdha, and vartmana, which cause the torments of birth, death, and suffering, can be destroyed. How can avidya, the great ignorance, be eliminated? Fools do not understand how women drain the life out of men like leeches, as they become deluded by their gestures and postures. The lady of the house, whom people call Kanta, the beautiful one, steals away a man's semen, strength, and energy under the guise of giving him pleasure through sexual intercourse. She also takes control of his mind, wealth, and everything else through her cunning words of love. So, tell me, what greater thief can there be than a woman? In my opinion, those who are ignorant are certainly deluded by the Creator, as they accept a wife only to destroy their own happiness. They can never understand that women are never the source of pleasure, rather, they are the source of all miseries. Hearing these words of Suka, Vyasa became immersed in deep anxiety, wondering what to do next. Incessant tears of pain flowed from his eyes, his whole body began to shiver, and his mind became deeply troubled. Seeing his father in such a distressed and sorrowful state, Sukadeva, with eyes full of wonder, said, "Oh, what power Maya has! Oh, he whose words are accepted by all with great love and reverence, as equivalent to the Vedas, who is the author of the Vedanta Darshana, and before whom nothing is hidden by ignorance, oh, that greatest Pandit, the knower of all the Tattvas, is now deluded by Maya. Oh, what is that Maya who has been able to delude Vyasadeva, the son of Satyavati, so skilled in the knowledge of Brahma Vidya? I also do not know how, or with what great care, one is to practice sadhana toward her. Alas, he who has composed 18 Mahapuranas and the great Mahabharata, who has divided the Vedas into 4 parts, the same Veda Vyasa has today been deluded by the power of Maya. What can be said of other people? Oh, Maya has deluded Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar, and others, along with the entire universe. Then who in the 3 worlds is not influenced by her power? I, therefore, take refuge in the internal governess, Devi Mahamaya. Oh, what wonderful power she wields! By her own magic, she has even kept God under her control, though he is omniscient and the controller of all. The Pandits who know the Puranas say that Vyasa Deva was born as a part of Vishnu. But see the wonder, today, he is plunged into the sea of delusion, like a merchant whose ship has been wrecked. Alas, how great is the wonderful power of Maya! The all-knowing Vyasa is today under her control and weeping like an ordinary man. So, I have come to the firm conclusion that even the wise Pandits are incapable of surpassing the strength of Maya. What a great error arises through her power! See, indeed. Who is he, and who am I? For what purpose have we come here? There is no certainty whatsoever about that. And see also how he has formed the idea of father in relation to his body and the idea of son in relation to mine, though both are merely composed of the 5 elements. It is now quite evident to me that when the Brahman Maharshi Krishnadvaipayana is weeping under the influence of Maya, she is indeed the strongest of all. Even those who are skilled in the great Maya fall prey to her. Then Sukadeva mentally bowed down to Devi Mahamaya, the creatrix of Brahma and the other Devas, and the controller of all. He then began to speak the following auspicious words, filled with reason, to his father Vyasadeva, who was greatly distressed and plunged into a sea of sorrow. O father, you are exceedingly fortunate, for you are the son of the high-souled Parshara, and you yourself are the instructor of real truth, the Tattva Janana, to all. So, O Lord, why do you give vent to sorrow like an ordinary bewildered man? O Mahabhaga, why are you plunging yourself into this great error, though you are a high-souled personage? See, it is true that I am now born as your son, but I do not know what relation existed between you and me in my previous birth. So, O highly intelligent one, open your eyes of wisdom and be patient. Do not throw yourself in vain into the sea of sorrow. All this universe is like a net of delusion. Knowing this, abandon all your grief. Why do you feel so weak and distressed due to your attachment to your son? Hunger is satisfied by eating, and thirst is quenched by drinking water. Hunger is not satisfied by merely seeing one's son. The organ of scent is satisfied by smelling sweet fragrances, and the organ of hearing is satisfied by listening to sweet music. When the thirst for enjoying women arises, it is satisfied only through sexual intercourse. But what satisfaction can a son provide? So what shall I do for you by remaining as your son? In truth, a son is not the cause of any real satisfaction to oneself. For this reason, in ancient times, the poor Brahman Ajigartha gave his son to King Harishchandra for an equivalent price in money, as the king needed a man for a sacrifice in which human beings were to be offered as victims. In fact, only those things that are urgently required as necessities bring happiness, and all such things can be obtained through wealth. So, if you seek happiness, then earn money. Of what use am I to you as your son? O Muni, you perceive subtle truths and possess great intelligence. So, I pray to you to look upon me as your son and open my eyes of wisdom so that I may be free forever from this cycle of birth. O sinless one, to be born as a human in this land of karma, India, is very difficult, and to attain birth as a Brahman is even rarer. So, having received this most precious birth, why should I waste my time in vain? O Father, though I have served many spiritual teachers filled with wisdom for many years, the firm notion that I am bound in this net of samsara, a thought veiled in the deep darkness of ignorance caused by desires, still does not leave me. When his son, Sukadeva, endowed with extraordinary power and intelligence, spoke thus, Vyasa realized that he was strongly inclined to take up the 4th ashrama, that of sannyasa, and said, O son, if your mind is so inclined, then read the Bhagavata Purana, composed by me. It is highly auspicious, voluminous, and considered the 2nd Veda. In this, you will find chapters on creation, Sarga, and secondary creation, Upsarga, along with the 5 characteristics found in other Puranas. It is subdivided into 12 skandhas. Hearing the Bhagavata Purana brings to mind the realization that Brahman alone is real and that the universe is unreal. It also awakens both intuitive and indirect knowledge. For this very reason, the Bhagavata Purana is considered the ornament of the Puranas. Therefore, O highly intelligent one, it is best that you study this Purana. O child, in days of yore, at the end of a kalpa, Bhagavan Hari lay as a small child on a floating leaf of a banyan tree, contemplating as follows. Who is the intelligent one that has created me as a small child? What is his purpose? Of what substance am I made, and how was I created? From where can I gain knowledge of all this? At that moment, Devi Bhagavati, who is pure consciousness, saw the high-souled Bhagavan Hari musing in this way and spoke in the form of a celestial voice, uttering the following half stanza. All that is seen is I myself, there is nothing else that is eternal. Bhagavan Vishnu then began to deeply contemplate the meaning of this celestial voice. Who has uttered these words, filled with truth, to me? How shall I come to know the speaker, whether it is female, male, or hermaphrodite? Pondering over this for a long time, and unable to reach a definite conclusion, he began to repeat the word of Bhagavati in deep japa with his whole heart. When Hari, lying on a banyan tree leaf, became deeply anxious to understand the meaning of the divine words, the all-auspicious Devi Bhagavati, with a beautiful face and a calm, serene appearance, manifested before Bhagavan Vishnu, whose splendor is unrivaled, in the form of Mahalakshmi. She, embodying pure Sattvaguna, was surrounded by her vibhutis, the divine manifestations of her attendants. Her smiling companions, of the same age, adorned with ornaments and wearing divine garments, each held in their 4 celestial hands a conch shell, discus, club, and lotus. The lotus-eyed Vishnu was greatly surprised to see the beautiful Devi standing on the water without any support. He observed that surrounding the Devi on all 4 sides were Rati, Bhuti, Buddhi, Mati, Kirti, Smriti, Dhriti, Shraddha, Medha, Swadha, Swaha, Kshudha, Nidra, Daya, Gati, Tusti, Pushti, Kshama, Lajja, Tandara, and other personified forces, each possessing a clear, distinct form and endowed with unique qualities. In their hands, they held divine weapons, around their necks were necklaces and garlands of mandara flowers. All their limbs were adorned with divine ornaments. Seeing Devi Lakshmi and her Shaktis within that vast ocean, Bhagavan Janardana, the soul of all, was greatly astonished and thought to himself, what is this? Is this the Maya that I am witnessing? Whence have these women appeared? And whence have I come here, lying on this banyan leaf? How has the banyan tree come into existence on this banyan leaf? How has the banyan tree come into existence in this vast ocean? And who has placed me here in the form of a child? Is this my mother? Or is this some Maya that can create the impossible? Why has she manifested before me now? Or is there some hidden motive behind her appearance? What ought I to do now? Shall I go to some other place, or shall I remain here in this form of a child, silent and vigilant? Thus ends the 15th chapter of the first book, the Dispassion of Suka and the instructions of Bhagavan to Hari,